What is up, YouTube? Welcome to another Vlogmas episode. Before we talk about my rankings of disc golfers, if they're ultimate Frisbee players, congratulations to Albert Levin for winning this Stock Get Freaky misprint. We'll also be doing another one at the end of the video, so stay tuned for that. Without further ado, let's jump into it.
Merry Christmas.
So I've been thinking about doing this video for a long time, and it seems like the tier list videos are moving over into the disc golf YouTube scene, so I thought no better time to do it than right now. I'm going to be discussing my thoughts on where I think players would be if they played Ultimate Frisbee. We're going to be doing the top 32 players based off of the Disc Golf Pro Tour rankings. I'm going to be basically breaking each player down on a couple things. When it comes to Ultimate Frisbee, I think these are the most important attributes to have. Throwing, athleticism, which basically is going to include speed, cutting, vert, strength, quickness. Receiving, aka do you have hands? Can you actually catch a disc? Endurance, games are extremely long. How long can you last? Dark horse attributes would be height and personality. And what I mean by personality is probably more on the lines of like, would you be a leader? Would you be able to motivate your teammates to play harder? Those would just kind of be bonuses to your actual skill. And then the height would be simply, let's be honest, if you're taller in sports that require a lot of athleticism like Ultimate does, it is beneficial to have that height. We're going to start off with number 32, Greg Barsby. And I had the pleasure of playing with Greg back at D-Glow for a round, got to see his throwing up close and personal. I think Greg has a really solid forehand that would translate really well to Ultimate. And I think his backhand too. He doesn't really have that massive windup, and he seems like he'd be pretty quick. So I think he actually would be a pretty decent thrower on the athleticism side. I think he's up there in years. He's probably close to my age, but I still think he's pretty squirrely. I think he would be pretty difficult to guard in the handler space, and I think he would actually pose a pretty good matchup as a defensive handler. His endurance, literally have no idea. He's not the tallest person in the world, but I think his personality, I think he could be a leader. I think he could be someone that could rile up the troops. I think he would actually be a great Ultimate Frisbee player. Number 31, Jordan Castro. Now, Jordan, I don't know that much about his background in sports. I do know that he is mentally tough, and he does have a pretty crazy story of losing an insane amount of weight, which, let me tell you, I gained quite a bit of weight, and it is not easy to even lose 10 pounds. So I have no doubt that he has the fortitude to be a good Ultimate Frisbee player. I think he has the ability of being able to throw both ways. Again, he doesn't seem to have like an unusual backhand or forehand that I think wouldn't translate to Ultimate. The only thing that I would be interested in seeing is that athleticism. How fast is he in a 40? How high can he jump? Those are all question marks, but I'm going to drop him in the good category. I think that's a safe spot for him. We are now moving on to Gavin Rathbun. I believe he actually just took down an A tier in Gainesville, the Chainhawk Open. So with that in mind, he obviously is a player, and looking at him, he looks like an Ultimate Frisbee guy. I don't know why, but he just has that, vibe of an Ultimate Frisbee guy. I think he's a fairly young player as well. So I think he actually, would be a great, it's so hard to put someone up in grade. Without knowing that much, I think I gotta put him at a good. 29, Terry Roethlisberger. Played a couple rounds with him, hung out with him quite a bit. I think he's got the personality to definitely help the team in situations where maybe it looks a little daunting. He's got a great kind of happy-go-lucky personality that would get everyone going. He seems like someone that you would think would be more athletic than they actually are. I don't know if that makes any sense. I would just say disclaimer, no one get pissed off at me by this, but this is my honest opinion. He comes off as a guy that you would think would be extremely athletic, but maybe is a little bit below where you actually think he would go. Now, I think his throwing would be pretty high level. I don't know how well of a forehand he has. I feel like when I played with him, he threw mostly backhands, but he probably has a decent forehand. I feel like he would be an average. I feel like he would be an average ultimate Frisbee player. Now we're going to Andrew Marwee. Now, I think this guy, did he actually play ultimate Frisbee? I think he played ultimate. I could be wrong. The dude's got one of the nastiest forehands I've ever seen. One that I think he would be able to bomb forehand hucks all day in ultimate. He's got the height. He's got the length. He's a lanky dude. He seems like that type of guy that I've played really close matches in ultimate with, going head-to-head up. I think he would actually be a great ultimate Frisbee player. Chris Clemons. Now, this guy could be a player. First thing being, I don't even have it on the list. He's a lefty. That's like the extra wild card because lefties in ultimate, if you can have a lefty that can throw, my goodness. And he has a really solid backhand and a really solid forehand. Now, the only thing I would say is his forehand, I think, would translate a lot better than his backhand. His backhand has that typical big windup that you sometimes do see in ultimate. It's just really, really hard to get that throw off when you have a mark in front of you. So that would be one of my concerns with that. But he does generate a lot of spin, so I feel like he could dial it back and just snap those backhands off and be solid. The athleticism side, he seems like he's an athletic dude. I want to say he's an athletic dude. And he's got that personality, too, that you just want to root for him. And someone that you just want him to be on your team. So I'm going to put him, gosh, I want to put him in the great. I kind of want to put him right in between good and great. For right now, we're going to put him in good. I might move him up to great. This is my first time doing this tier list thing, and there's a lot more pressure on than I thought there was going to be. I don't want to hurt anyone's feelings, but I'm trying to do my best of just putting people where I think they would go if they played Ultimate Frisbee right now. All right, we're going to Kale. Now, Kale, if you put him in Masters Ultimate, I feel like he would absolutely dominate. I feel like I would put him in the league if I could put him in Masters. But we're assuming everyone is just getting thrown into pro, the best of the best. And if that was the case, I feel like I have to put him in good just simply because of his age. He could prove me wrong. He could send me an Instagram video of him dunking a basketball and prove me completely wrong. But I feel like as I'm getting older and older, the athleticism is slowly starting to fade away. The knees aren't getting any better. So I feel like his throwing ability would be high. He seems like a guy that would have good hand-eye coordination and be able to catch a Frisbee. I just don't know how his endurance and his speed and vertical would be. Personality-wise, I think he would be a great teammate, someone I would definitely love to have on my team. So I'm going to put him in the good category. Moving into number 25, Noah Metzema. Hopefully I said your name right if you were watching. I don't know much about this guy. I'm not going to lie. I honestly don't know much about this guy. So this is just going to be a complete shot in the dark. Not like any of my other rankings have been a shot in the dark. But this one I feel like is a complete shot in the dark. I feel like he's just going to be an average. I feel like he would be average. I don't know why. His face, for some reason, is telling me he's that guy that you throw to. He's wide open and he just doinks it. I could be wrong. I could be wrong. But Noah, I don't think you have hands. Anthony Barella. This is an interesting one. With Anthony, I feel like he could be in the elite, man. I feel like he could be an elite player. He's got the height. He's got the length. He bombs both forehands and backhands. The touch, that's something I don't have on the list. It's things to think about. Touch is very important. 90% of the time you're throwing a disc in ultimate, you're throwing it less than 10 yards. Very close passes, but you have to be very precise. And you have to be able to throw it with touch and get it out at different angles. But I'm just going off of his height. He seems like he'd be an athletic dude with the type of speed he can generate throwing. Probably not the strongest guy in the world. And his vertical, gosh, can he jump? I'm going to put him in elite, and then someone's going to be like, dude, he has a 12-inch vertical. But I can't put him in elite. I'm going great. I think he would be a great ultimate Frisbee player. Number 23, Andrew Presnell. Mr. Prez, where are we putting you, my friend? Golly, do you have hands as bricks? He can throw a decent backhand. He has no forehand. Well, it's not like that's a little harsh. He probably has a forehand, but the thing is, I feel like if you can't throw a forehand in disc golf comfortably, you're probably not going to be comfortable throwing a forehand with an ultra star with a mark on you to someone running that has a defender on them. So with that, I feel like that's a little bit of a disadvantage for Andrew, but I know he's probably working on it in the offseason. And again, he could prove me wrong. He'd come out and start lasering 400-foot drives with forehands. That'd be dirty. But his backhand is absolutely nasty. He's got a sick putt. I feel like he'd be good. Good ultimate Frisbee player. That's safe bet. We're going with Eric Oakley. Oh, man. Where the heck do I put this guy? This guy, whew, okay. Very interesting backhand form. Very interesting forehand form. Would those translate over into the ultimate Frisbee world? Absolutely not. Would he be able to develop form that worked over there? Potentially, for sure. How fast is he? His endurance? Eric, I love you, but I think you would be an average ultimate Frisbee player. All right, we're moving on. We're going to Ezra now. Okay, Ezra. Man, let's see. He's obviously got the strength. He can throw far, but I'm wondering how it would translate. Watching him throw a forehand, it does look very mechanical, if that makes sense. Even his backhand looks very mechanical. And in ultimate, it's more of like a soccer type of game. It's more something that you got to be fluid and be able to have that fluidity to your throws. So with that, I feel like his throwing would be solid, but I don't think it would translate as well over into ultimate. Now, his athleticism, he's got the strength, but how fast is he? How quick is he? How high can he jump? These are all questions that I would love to know. Maybe we need to do like an old-fashioned combine. I don't know how many disc golfers would agree to it, but that would be fun to see, an old-fashioned combine. His endurance, that would be the only thing. They always talk about in boxing and MMA, when guys put on a lot of muscle and a lot of weight, they worry about their endurance. I'm worrying about it too. I feel like he'd be a good ultimate player. I feel like he'd be good. All right, moving on to Thomas Gilbert. We're in the top 20 now. This guy can bomb backhands. He'd probably be the polar of every team in Ultimate Frisbee ever. Just throwing huge backhands that just stall in the end zone. You know, the entire defense has already ran down the entire field just waiting for the disc to drop. So that would be a huge advantage. He's got extreme height, but for some reason, something's telling me he's the type of guy that has like the 5'7" defender on him, and he goes deep, and you're like, this is a no-brainer, I'm throwing a goal. And you toss one up on a platter for him just to go up and get, and you're like, go up and get that big boy! And then like he finds a way to not catch it. And then you're just like, man, what the heck? I got to put him in the average category because I think his throwing would be solid. I don't know about the other categories, and I think that would drop him down to average. Number 19, we are going with Jeremy Colling. Now, I do know this guy does have ultimate Frisbee background, so that's already going to probably put him in the good category. Now, do I think he would go up to the great category is the question. He might have been in the great category back in this day, but, you know, no one can escape time, as they say. I got to drop him in the good category because I think he would be a great offensive handler, but I think he would be an absolute liability on defense. All right, moving up to number 18, Colton Montgomery. All right, this guy can rip for his size. He seems super wiry, like he would just be really quick, very quick. Not sure if his top end speed would be anything impressive, but I feel like he'd be very quick in the handler space. And he comes to me off as like a defensive handler type of player. Now, I don't know if you know what? I'm actually just going to drop him in the great. I don't know much about him, but I like him. I like him a lot. I think he's got a great personality to be a team player. He doesn't necessarily have the height, but he is long for his size, if that makes sense. I think he would be able to run for days. His throwing is great. I would like to think that he has decent hands, and I think he would actually be a great defensive handler. I would love to see that. I would love to see him matching up with some of these other good guys and see that Maybe at the end of this, we draft 2 ultimate teams and we go out and play ultimate Frisbee. Heck, I'd watch that. All right, we're going 17, Austin Hannum. Dude's got a cannon for a forehand. He can rip a backhand too. He's got baseball experience. The endurance would be the only thing that would be a question mark, just based off of coming from baseball. And then in disc golf, endurance is not something that they probably worked on too much. He's got decent height. I feel like he has decent hands. I feel like he would be a good. I feel like he'd be a good ultimate Frisbee player, and I'm excited to see his response on Twitter for this. If you're not following him on Twitter, you should. It's a great follow. All right, we're going to Drew Gibson. Now, a part of me just wants to drop him right there, okay? Why? Because he can bomb forehands, he can bomb backhands. His forehand is decent enough. I feel like his athleticism would be up there. I think he would have decent hand-eye coordination. He's not the tallest in the world, but he's also not the shortest. His endurance, I think, would be decent enough. But for some reason, I would think that he would be a really good ultimate Frisbee player. Now, the only reason I'm dropping him down, I think he might get too much in his head. I think he might get too much in his head. He might be that guy. Now, his golf swing is looking nice. His golf swing is looking nice. But I got to put him in great solely because I think he might blow up sometimes on himself and potentially on his teammates. 15, we're going with Simon Lizat. I've seen some of what he can do in other sports, but it's like darts and pool, which I feel like are hand-eye coordinated, so maybe he has decent hands, but don't really show off the athleticism. Now, I did see in one of his videos one of the videos we filmed, he tried to do a backflip off a tree. I don't know what happened. Didn't go well, but he kind of hurt himself doing it. So that's like the only thing I really have of seeing him try to do something athletic in person. I feel like he would be a good ultimate Frisbee player. I think he can bomb backhands. He's got a decent forehand. He's tall and lanky. I don't know about the speed, and I don't know about the endurance, but I feel like he'd be like good. Kyle Klein, number 14, the young gun. I think this guy, honestly, if he wanted to, I feel like he could change right now and be a great ultimate Frisbee player. He seems like the prototypical college ultimate Frisbee player. And I feel like he could just fit in real quick to being a handler on offense or on defense. The only thing that would be the question marks to me would be his endurance. Would he be able to train well enough to be able to run for days? But I feel like everything else is there. Maybe put a little bit of, some pounds on, some muscle to be able to not get bodied around too much on the field. But other than that, I feel like he would be a great ultimate Frisbee player. I would love to see him play, honestly. Number 13, Adam Hammys. Solid backhand, great forehand, both power and touch. His athleticism, gosh, is he also falling in the Terry Roethlisberger category where I'm like, I think he's athletic, but is he? Adam, don't make me drop you in the average, bro. Don't make me drop you in the average. His hands, would his hands be good? Can he catch? Where do I put him? He might have to go down to the average. Is that smart? Is that a good spot to put him? I don't know. I might have just blundered. I might have blundered before that, but I'm putting him in the average. All right, we are now going to Oakley. Now, I've heard a lot about Oakley on the basketball court. I feel like the guy's athletic. I've seen his golf swing. His golf swing's legit. I think he's smooth both on his backhand and his forehand. I think the only thing probably holding him back is his age. I feel like he's probably a little bit more out of his prime. And, ultimate Frisbee, it's hard on the body. There's a lot of running, a lot of jumping, a lot of cutting. So with that in mind, I think I would have to probably put him in the good category, just solely because we both have had knee issues. I feel like we would be in the same boat on the ultimate Frisbee field. We'd be maybe hobbling a little bit after the first game, going into the second. I feel like good. But he could have been, in his heyday, athleticism-wise, I think he could have been a great ultimate Frisbee player. Philo. Where do we put Philo? He's got the height. He's got the length. His throwing is smooth. He doesn't have massive power on either backhand or forehand, but his throwing is smooth. But I honestly don't think he would want to play ultimate. I don't think he would. I think he might be the guy that's at the family barbecue playing shoeless. I think he might be that guy. I don't see him wanting to run around in a field guarding people. So I think he's just the guy that just throws the chicken wings from end zone to end zone at the family barbecue. Emerson Keith. Okay, this dude's got a background in hockey, and now he's come over to disc golf and has gotten really good quickly. I mean, he's been playing disc golf his whole life, but being in the pro scene, he's moved up the ranks very fast. Now, the only thing that I would really say holding him back would be probably his height and potentially his hands. I did throw a disc at him one time when we were practicing fairly quick, and he didn't really know what to do. Is that a fair assessment on his hands? Probably not. Am I going to use it? Absolutely. So I'm going to put him in the good category. We are going to James Conrad. This is easy. He's shoeless, tie-dye shirt, just juicing backhands all over the field at the family barbecue. His stats at the family barbecue, he's probably 15 assists. He's got 2 goals. And he's just frolicking. That's the thing. He's just frolicking around, just absolutely dropping dimes on his entire family. Could he be a really good ultimate Frisbee player? He could, potentially. I mean, he would have to really have a forehand. It's tough to play ultimate with only one side. But he's got the length. He's got that spring, man. I feel like he actually has hops. I would love to see how high he could jump, because I wouldn't be surprised if he's got over a 36-inch vertical. But I got to put him there because I think that's where he'd want to go. Garrett Gerthy, my Florida Gators buddy, Gainesville native. Where is this guy going to go? He throws the Sonic, which is very similar to an ultimate Frisbee, and he throws it really well. The only thing is I just don't know about the other things. I don't know about the athleticism. I don't know about the hands, the receiving, the endurance. I think I got to drop him in the average. But I can tell you this much. I would love to have him on my team just dropping backhand bombs to me all day. That'd be fantastic. Kevin Jones. I think I'm dropping him in the elite, man. Solid backhand. Solid forehand. Good touch on both. His athleticism, I think we all know about that. He seems like he's got the speed, the quickness, the vert, the strength. I'm happy all there. The hands, I think he has it. You know, I believe he was a kicker in football, but I'm pretty sure if you're in the football world, you probably have caught a football a time or two. So I would love to believe he has hands. Endurance, absolutely. I mean, disc golf doesn't take that much, but the guy just sprints basically the entire time he's playing disc golf and looks like he hasn't done anything. So I think he's got that. He's decently tall enough to be to not have that really affect him. And I think personality-wise, I think he'd be a great teammate. So I got him on the elite status, the only one. Will there be another one? I don't know. We'll see. Nico. I think Nico would be great. I think he would be great. And maybe he did play ultimate back in the day. I'm not entirely sure with him. His throwing, both manageable, both sides, decent length. Athleticism, I think he's fairly athletic from what I've seen. I mean, did you see how high he jumped off that tree? That takes a bit of vert. It takes a bit of strength. I think he would have the endurance. The only thing, I think he might have the Drew Gibson thing where the personality might bring him down a little bit because he does get down on himself a little bit. I don't know how well that would translate over into a team sport, but I think he'd be a great ultimate Frisbee player. We are now breaking into the top 5. We have Chris Dickerson. Oh, Chris, where the heck am I putting you, brother? Backhand solid, forehand solid, endurance, height, personality. I feel like he's just kind of under the radar, but I think he would be good. I think he would be someone too that would have a high ceiling, an extremely high ceiling if he actually played ultimate. It'd be interesting to see how good he could actually get. But I think right now, on the ultimate Frisbee field, he'd be a good ultimate player. Eagle. We're moving over to Eagle. Okay. We all know the dude can bomb backhands. The dude can bomb forehands. He's got decent height to him. The endurance, I'm not sure. The athleticism, I'm going off of a video that I saw him doing push-ups. But I do know he's hitting the gym hard this offseason. Hands, I'm not sure on the hands. But I mean, someone like that with his throwing abilities on both sides, I don't think I could put him in the average. I feel like I have to put him up here in the good, just solely based on his throwing. I'm not sure how he would look running around an Ultimate Frisbee field, but that is something I would pay to see. We got Ricky. I think Ricky could be an elite Ultimate Frisbee player. I think he could. Really solid backhand, really solid forehand. He's got, you know, a uniqueness to his scrambling ability, which I think if you can scramble as well as he can, that means you can hit all sorts of different angles, backhand or forehand, which is huge in Ultimate. He's got solid height to him. I believe he's almost my height. His endurance, I mean, he's been with the Lyme disease and everything. I know he's been working out like a madman, and so that's something that I think he's been working on, and is definitely would not be a problem. You see him with his cart running up hills and constantly always is the first guy off the tee pad. Athleticism, that would be the only question mark. How fast is he? How high can he jump? How strong is he? I'm not sure. I feel like he has solid hands. He seems like a guy that would be able to, pick up pretty much any sport. So I think he joins Kevin with the elite status. Calvin Heinberg, the robot man. Where the heck am I putting you, brother? All right, we got backhand solid, forehand solid. I mean, he knows how to win. He knows how to grind. He never counts himself out of it. He's got that personality of where, he might not be the loudest person and he might not really get his team fired up in that sense. But he's one of those guys that, if he makes a big play or something like that, he might, like I said earlier, he might show a little bit of emotion. And just doing so, that's going to get everyone fired up. So I think I'm going to put him, he's super tall. He's quick, man. You can see his footwork on the tee pad. He's quick. I got to put him at great. I think I did that right. Paul Macbeth. Where the heck am I putting him? Baseball background. We all know. Super consistent. Backhand, forehand. Doesn't matter. Super smooth. I've seen him swing a baseball bat, swing a golf club, shoot a basketball. I think the only thing kind of going up against him might be the height. He reminds me a lot about one of my captains in 2006, Tim Garrett. He was a Callahan winner that year, and he was the type of guy that we had 3 captains, and he wasn't the most vocal of them. But when he did say something, everyone listened because we knew, like, okay, Timmy just said something. Everyone pay attention. He never really talks that much. I feel like that would be Paul. I feel like he would be the type of captain and leadership on the team that wouldn't always talk, but when he said something, it really meant something and really would be able to get everyone going. I think I would put him in the elite status with Ricky and Kevin. I mean, it make more sense to drop them down to great, and then that way you could have Kevin and Ricky be captains of the ultimate, of this, and then they could pick. We have 32 guys, so that's 16 on 16. That would be a heck of a match to watch, man. But I think I'd put him in the elite because he knows how to win. He's done it before. He's got that baseball background. I think the athleticism is there. I've seen his hands. He can catch. The only thing I would think about right now is the endurance. I don't know what his endurance level is. He might send me a video of him just crushing a treadmill workout or something. But I think I'm happy with that. We got 3 guys in the elite. This looks like it's a good spot, man. I'm pretty happy here. All right, you guys let me know how I did. Who did I mess up on? Who did I get right? But I thought this would be the easiest one for me to do simply because I know the most about Ultimate Frisbee and I have somewhat knowledge of how I think these guys would go. But obviously, I really had no idea. But that's the fun thing about it, man. I might have put people in the completely wrong tier. You guys let me know at home. We're going to go and give this dark bat away. This stock Get Freaky, all you have to do to win this bad boy is be a subscriber on the YouTube channel, turn on your notifications, click that bell, and then also like this video and leave a comment down below on who I got right, who I got wrong, and I will pick a winner and we'll move on to the next one. So, man, this was fun. Hopefully I don't get roasted too much on Twitter for this, but it is what it is. I opened Pandora's box. If you disagree, let me know. I'm hoping to see some sick videos from these guys proving me wrong. That would absolutely make my Christmas. That's all I want for Christmas is these guys showing me up. If I said, Eric Oakley, if you go out and dunk a basketball, I will move you from average to good. These are things that I would love to see, but that's it. That's going to do it. We'll see you in the next one. Keep slinging them discs.